You are now listening to the J Porks Experience. Listen free on iTunes or at theandydareshow.com. Now, here's Jay.
Yo, what is the word, people? Welcome to another edition of the J Porks Experience. I'm J Porks. With me, as always, on the other side of the glass, making sure this is a well-oiled podcast machine. Every week is nobody. How funny is this? I dropped my notes. There they are. Okay. I hit record and I dropped the notes. Got a few things to get to today. But first, we are going to go over the list of websites I need you to go to help keep me in business. First of all, I need you to go to concertconfessions.com. That's for all your live music, news and reviews, for fans, by fans. There is stuff happening there this week. That stuff includes, I told you the As Seen on TV was coming back, didn't I? Did I not tell you that? Well, you can go to Concert Confessions and check out Sleigh Bells Dashing Through Letterman. Yeah, I know, I went sleigh and dashing through the snow, because it's a sleigh. It's cheesy, but check it out. Their performance is cool. Last time I saw Sleigh Bells doing anything, they were making weird noises, jumping up and down, like crazy folks. But they were on Letterman, and the dude had an acoustic guitar, and the song was pretty catchy, and the girl's hot, and the jacket was cool. So there's that. So check that out. Also, crosses. Are you supposed to say, well, I guess I have to say crosses because I can't say three crosses in words. It's just a symbol. But, the guy from, Chino Moreno, the guy from Deftones, there you go. It's his other band, and people love them. The stuff I've heard, the songs I've heard from this, rad, awesome. And they kicked off their North American tour, or the U.S. tour, in St. Louis. And our buddy Darby has that. Words, photos, up at concertconfessions.com right now. Also, I missed, a couple of weeks ago, remember I was talking about, I mentioned MGMT was playing Barclays Center with Dinosaur Jr. opening, and I really wanted to go. But I couldn't go. Lack of funds, lack of being able to get off the work that I had at the time. But our buddy, we had a confession. Mellow Rocker, there you go. Mellow Rocker, when Mellow Rocker shows up to the party, it's uncalled for. Nobody knows he's coming. And there's just, we actually didn't even see that. Like, I'm going to like it on Facebook now. I didn't even catch this review till January 1st, which is my bad. So sorry, Mellow Rocker, but your MGMT pictures are rad. How do you get seats like that? I don't see any pictures of Dinosaur Jr., but that show is probably fun. I would have loved to go to that. What else is going on at ConcertConfessions.com right now? There's stuff. There's actual stuff. Dave Matthews Band is touring. They got they're doing two sets, an acoustic set and an electric set during their summer tour, hitting all your favorite outdoor venues, hitting the Gorge in Washington State, hitting my backyard, PNC Bank Arts Center in Homedale, New Jersey, probably hitting Jones Beach. You know, and any venue with a lawn, it's happening there. And we had festival announcements up the ass. I'll get to that in a second, the festival announcements. But, and you can watch Helmet's Ferocious KEXP session. And you can check that out on Concert Confessions, too. We're putting in work this week. I was unemployed. I actually felt like I was employed. I was doing things for a little while. So that's concertconfessions.com for all your live music, news and reviews, for fans, by fans. When you go there and you see those ads, click the Amazon ads and you buy stuff from Amazon. Because you're buying stuff anyway. So stop fucking around and help a nigga out. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Okay. Jeez Louise. What's up next? Christina Rocks. Go to ChristinaRocks.com for Hang the DJ. My first Sunday where I actually woke up and I said, hey, I'm going to listen to the Time Warp playlist, 89xradio.com, streaming worldwide. I went to the website. I have a crappy internet connection, and that shit was streaming beautifully. We went from... She did some Bowie. She did some Meat Puppets. Then she did Nirvana from the Nirvana Unplugged. I tuned in when she was doing REM, The One I Love. Followed by Pixies, Monkey's Gone to Heaven. And when she came back on, I was tweeting at her, so she shouted me out, which is cool. So I'm shouting her out like I do every week. Go listen to the Time Warp, 89X. And she said something, some band was coming to Detroit, and she said they're coming to the D. And it just made me think, like right there, now in my mind, forever, will be an image of Christina Rocks doing her radio show from where Eminem did the underground rap battles at the Shelter with Future in the movie 8 Mile. Everyone remembers that movie? It's a really good movie when it came out. It's a really good movie now. It was a really good movie then, and it's a really good movie now. But now, my image of Christina forever is her sitting in a place like that for no reason whatsoever besides that she's in the D. That's all. That's all I got. That's all. So, Christina, look out in the Shelter. Be careful. I know you're not choking. It's all good. What else we got? We got TheAndyDeerShow.com. You know what you get at TheAndyDeerShow.com? Besides me, I mean, which is reason enough to go anywhere in life. But besides me, you get Tyler Cale. He's rocking on the West Coast. Rocking in California. You got The Andy Deer Show. The flagship show. He records in a place where he has to wear pants. Unlike this guy, who doesn't. And you've got Smooth Operators with Tyler and Andy. And you've got maybe a future podcast host or two coming to the Deer Network. That's at Deer Network. You can like it on Facebook. You can like the Andy Deer Show on Facebook, like Jay Porks on Facebook. Like us everywhere. Because, you know, you like us in real life. And if you don't, I mean, you're lying to yourself. And that's not nice. It's one thing to lie to people to get things, but to lie to yourself, not good. And, AnnieQuiet.com. This podcast powered by Annie Quiet, your source for quality. What's going on Annie Quiet this week? A lot. Let's go backwards down the number line here. Let's go back. We had a bunch of... Alright, we're going to get into the festivals second half of the podcast. I'm just going to go over that now. So when you hear me saying skipping over festival news, that's because I'm going to get to it in the second half. But right now on ConcertConfessions.com. Toadies. The Toadies are celebrating 20 years of Rubberneck. You know, their album with Possum Kingdom and Tyler and you know, all the great Toadies songs you like that you heard in the mid-90s. They're reissuing Rubberneck on vinyl, and they've got U.S. tour dates. They're coming to a town near you. I know they're coming to they're coming to Irving Plaza in New York City. But they're going to Phoenix. They got 4 California dates: Portland, Seattle, Utah, Denver, Tulsa, St. Louis, Minneapolis, Chicago, Milwaukee, Louisville, Kentucky. Indianapolis. You know, I haven't been able to pronounce that in the 27 years I've been alive. Cincinnati, Detroit, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Boston, New York is my Irving Plaza date, Asbury Park, the Stone Pony, Theater of the Living Arts in Philly, and the Black Cat in Washington, D.C. I would go check out the Toadies. I've seen them twice. Always a fun show. if I can figure out if I can get some money around that time, I'll go see them. We'll definitely go see the Toadies. That's gonna be fun. I can't wait to tell Pam. She's gonna flip. We've also got Mark Lanigan is working on a follow-up album to Blues Funeral, among other things. And we're gonna have a reunited Mark Lanigan band. And in music I don't hate, The Dead Weather dropped a couple of tracks, well, at least one, Rough Detective. And I was so happy to hear a song that is new that I didn't hate. So you go to andyquiet.com, you stream The Dead Weather Rough Detective, and it's on Spotify, but I would go to Andy Quiet to read it because you can get some commentary from the lovely J.B. Scott. Screaming Females. These are all I'm just reading at Andy Quiet right now. The Screaming Females are a band that opened up for Dinosaur Jr. a few years ago at a show that I couldn't get to. Now, a buddy of mine who I met at a previous Dinosaur Jr. show had been emailing me at the time, this is like 2-3 years ago, was emailing me telling me I need to check out the Screaming Females with Dinosaur Jr. because they're like Dinosaur Jr. with a girl, which is weird. Not weird, cool. So I've been wanting to check them out. I've heard their past music and I liked it, and I've always wanted to check them out, but something's always gotten in the way. So I've never been able. So I couldn't be more happy when I saw a website I'm employed by writing about the Screaming Females announcing a new live album, Northeastern Tour Dates, and they're recording with Steve Albini. That's Andy's boy. Mr. Albini is going to record them. Maybe in a kitchen. I really don't know his recording process these days. But they're recording a live album. Which, what? Does anyone think that's crazy that they need an engineer? Not an engineer. What does Albini call himself? He's not a producer. He's a recorder. So why do you need a recorder for a live album? It's a live album. Whatever. I will be checking them out if I am off on this day. Oh, they're hitting the Music Hall of Williamsburg. I hate that place. I hate places where the event staff tells you to put your cameras down. It's mad annoying. But Screaming Females, 3-piece, they're cool. Check them out. I'm going to like this on Facebook right now. So you should check out Screaming Females. And they're touring the Northeast. So if you're on this side of the country, they're coming to a town near you. Tegan and Sara going on tour with Katy Perry. Now, most of you probably say, Jay, why are you telling me about this? Well, 2 reasons. 1, Tegan and Sara aren't the worst thing in the world. 2, Katy Perry is not making the world a worse place. Just because I don't have her music on my iPod doesn't mean that she's evil. And if you open the article at Andy Quiet and you just stare at this glorious picture of Katy Perry for a second, I can stare at Katy Perry all day long. Listen, a lot of girls have nice breasts, but Katy Perry is redefining that there are levels to this. There are levels to this. And the one she is on is not reached by many. So just saying, if you want to check out Tegan and Sara and Katy Perry and keep a visual image in your mind of Katy Perry for the rest of your life, I would do that. If not, go to the Andy Quiet article and click on it and check out that picture. Written by my man, Stephen Anthony. There's a new band, Black Map, I want you to check out. It features Ben Flanagan, the touring guitarist for Dread, D-R-E-D-G, Dredge, I want to say. Teams up with his stage mate Mark Engels and drummer Chris Robin of Far to form a new three-piece hard rock band called Black Map. There's a song on AndyQuiet.com right now called I'm Just the Driver. The band is working on a yet-to-be-titled EP, and AndyQuiet's going to be keeping an eye out for that. In the meantime, there's a video here you can check out on AndyQuiet.com, and also San Francisco Area Bay Concerts has a write-up of the band's second show, and you can link to that. So you go to AndyQuiet, you're getting all of this stuff. AndyQuiet is a well-oiled machine right now, pumping out articles left and right. New albums coming this year from Foo Fighters, which is not surprising to many. But Eagles of Death Metal is, yes, Josh Homme's going to get back, and he's going to be with the Eagles of Death Metal with Jesse, I know the guy's name is Jesse. Jesse Hughes, yes, thank you. And the Foo Fighters tweeted a picture of the tapes in the studio that they're recording. I mean, just like I hate that. And the Queens of the Stone Age did it earlier this year. Don't tweet out a picture of the sound, like a piece of the soundboard in the studio. We know you're in the studio. People saw you go in. Just like and we're gonna have stories. I'm gonna talk about two things at once right now. I'm staying on this. Eagles of Death Metal are releasing an album. Are working on an album. I don't know if they're releasing an album. Foo Fighters are tweeting out pictures of the soundboard, and we've got tons of websites doing the "This is what we know" articles with Jack White and Neil Young may collaborate on a covers album this year. They might, because somebody saw Neil Young go into Third Man Records or Jack White's studio with Willie Nelson, and so that makes people think that there's going to be a covers album. Jack White didn't say there's going to be a covers album. Neil Young didn't say there's going to be a covers album. As of now. As of me recording this. So, I mean, I love this. Well, we saw Neil Young go into Jack White's studio. So from this, we can concur that they're going to cover 12 obscure songs by these bands. How do you know? Who knows this? Thurston Moore's got a super group. He's got a joke super group, Twilight. Actually, I'm gonna read this paragraph here in the new albums coming soon article on AndyQuiet.com. We've come to tolerate Thurston Moore half-assing the indie rock that Sonic Youth gets to call grunge only for its awful sloppiness. I don't agree with that statement. I love Sonic Youth and Thurston Moore, but apparently the West Coast doesn't. Apparently he's out also mocking black metal or something, with releasing 3 Beneath the Trident's Tomb. The debut album, yeah, we see what he did there. From his joke supergroup Twilight, who have already broken up, and whose music doesn't even sound like black metal. I'm guessing Googling the genre you're trying to do would be sellout or something. Consequence of Sound is a track for you to hear, and it's all stupid garbage, according to this article on AndyQuiet written by Squirrel. I will have to respectfully well, I didn't hear it, so I don't agree or disagree. But I like Sonic Youth. I like Thurston Moore. And as soon as Lee Ronaldo's band does something, I'm going to be with the quickness at AndyQuiet.com just because I like to piss off the people I work for. Or if Kim Gordon does that. Kim Gordon releases an album. Speaking of, remember last week, towards the end of my podcast, I said to myself and you, I said, when is something going to break that I'm knowledgeable about, so I can put up an article on Antiquad. I haven't posted in a while. And then the Natural Stoner from ConcertConfessions.com pointed me to a link on the Moist Boys Facebook page. Moist Boys, Dean Ween's new band, and they're touring this. I guess you can call end of February to early April. I guess you can call that spring, late winter, early spring. Anyway, they'll be touring, and for 6 of those dates, well, what do you know? Guess what band they're taking with them? The Meat Puppets! The Meat Puppets rolling with the Moist Boys. So those dates begin. The Moist Boys are on tour starting in California, February 27th. They're going to play Pappy and Harriet's. They're going to play the Satellite. They're going to play Slim's in San Francisco. They're going to play Sweetwater Music Hall. I think Bob Weir owns that place. Play Sweetwater Music Hall in Mill Valley. Humbert Brews in Arcata. Doug Fur Lounge in Portland. Tractor Tavern in Seattle. The Shakedown in Bellingham, Washington. Before March 28th, they're going to headline the Mohawk in Austin, Texas, and the Meat Puppets are going to open. From there, they will support the Meat Puppets at Club Dada in Dallas, Texas. Then they flip it again, the Gothic Theater in Denver. Moist Boys are going to headline. And then at the Fox Theater in Boulder, Meat Puppets will headline. The Waiting Room in Omaha, as Peyton Manning would say, Omaha, Omaha. The Waiting Room is where the Meat Puppets will headline, along with the show closer at the Caboose in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm debating going to that show in Minnesota just because I have a free place to stay. Because I got peeps out there in Prince country. So I got to write something. Could you believe it? I did work. So go check it out on antiquiet.com. Your source for quality. And isn't it great to have things that I had stuff to talk about? I didn't make one joke about me. Isn't that amazing? Also, this week was a huge week for festival announcements. A bunch of festivals announced their lineups on the same day within 5 minutes from each other. New festivals, old festivals. None of the remaining Big Four announced theirs yet. The Big Four consist of Coachella, Bonnaroo, Lala, and Outside Lands. Yeah, I'm calling Outside Lands one of the Big Four. Coachella is the only one of the Big Four that is announced right now. But we'll get into some of the interesting ones on the other side. Back after this. I'm sure you've thought to yourself many a times, how can I get myself in the middle of the J Porks podcast during his commercial break? Well, that's easy. You just hit up my email, jporks@gmail.com. Hit up the Deer Network at theandydeershow.com, at Deer Network on Twitter. Hit Tyler Kale, hit Andy Deer, hit your friends, tell them to listen to the podcast, listen for free on iTunes. And we are back. We went over the headlines in the first half of the podcast. I put off festivals. A bunch of festivals were announced Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I'm going to go in the order in which I think they are cool. Firefly Music Festival. And this is all, there's a Festival Madness 2014 article on antiquiet.com that you're going to go check out and you're going to read all about these festivals. See, here's the thing about Antiquiet. They're going to have everything for you. Whether, even if I'm not up, there's like 20 other people way better than I am at this who will be bringing you the news. So never fear. So Reverend Justito, my main man from Santa Monica, like my favorite Everclear song, like the only song I could play on guitar, kind of, wrote up this piece containing a couple of festivals. Firefly is in Dover, Delaware. Is this the third year or the fourth year? This is its third year. It's expanding to a fourth day. I remember 2 years ago when this first happened, they had a pretty cool lineup, and I thought, hey, Delaware, that's not like across the country. It's at the Dover Speedway. There's a racetrack. The Dover International Speedway. There's a racetrack there. I'm not sure if it's camping or if they have like rooms, like hotels around that area. I'm not sure. I would assume they have something because the NASCAR fans travel all over the country with to watch cars race around tracks at 200 miles an hour and people die. So I'd assume that they have some hotels there. I should look into it, but I'm not going to look into anything until I get my W-2 and get some free money. It's not free money. I paid it, but I need a lot of money so I can start planning my summer. Headlining Firefly Music Festival is Foo Fighters, Outkast, and Jack Johnson. I know that Jack Johnson's a weak third headliner, but if it's summertime and it's nice weather, Imagine Sandals and Jack Johnson. Imagine Dragons, Pretty Lights and the Lumineers, Arctic Monkeys, Weezer, Band of Horses, Young the Giant, Childish Gambino, Tegan, Sarah, Girl Talk, Cage the Elephant, Portugal the Man, Group Love, Pitchfork Favorites, Local Natives, Ziggy Marley. Ziggy Marley will play anywhere. Iron and Wine, Sleigh Bells, Third Eye Blind's on there, Kaiser Chiefs are on there. The Airborne Toxic Event. Remember them? Remember they had a good song a few years ago? They're on there. Small Pools, Bleachers, New Politics, White Denim. As we get to the smaller acts here. Wild Child. 21 Pilots. Amos Lee. Washed Out, A-Track, Miss Mister, Tune Yards. People love the Tune Yards. And you can go to fireflyfestival.com. That's June 19th to 22nd. It's 4 days. Foo Fighters, Weezer, Gambino, and much more. So there's your highlights from the Firefly Music and More Festival. No, it's not Firefly Music and More. It's Firefly Festival. And you can go to fireflyfestival.com. Check out all the details. In Kingston Downs, Georgia, there is the Counterpoint Festival. That's coming pretty soon, April 25th to 27th. 3 nights. Headliners are Outkast, Pretty Lights, Foster the People, STS9. Undercard consists of J. Cole, Major Lazer, Matt and Kim, Sleigh Bells, Janelle Monáe, Chance the Rapper, Moon Taxi, Schoolboy Q, the Run the Jewels duo of LP and Killer Mike. I follow Killer Mike on Twitter. He's awesome. A band called Minnesota, Green Lantern. We ran out of bands I've heard of really quick on this list. But it's an Outkast hometown. They plan to headline 40 festivals this year. So it's no surprise that the first 2 I name, plus Coachella from last week, that's the first 3 I name, they are in the headliners. And you can go to counterpointfestival.com. Sponsored by Heineken. Of course it is. At least it's sponsored by a beer I could stand. And then we got in the Gulf Shores of Alabama, the Hangout Music Festival, May 16th through 18th, on the beaches of Gulf Shores, Alabama. Makes me think of Forrest Gump. The Black Keys, look at that! The Black Keys came out of hiding. Where have the Black Keys been? Where have the Black Keys been? Since my father told me that I was emphasizing the wrong word, I haven't seen much of the Black Keys. I was saying the Black Keys, and he says, it's not the Black Keys, it's the Black Keys. Emphasis on keys, not black. And so now I can't say that name anymore without going crazy. So they're headlining along with the Killers and Outkast. Yes. Outkast is there too, along with Jack Johnson. Because you heard me say on the beaches, right? I say on the beaches, you think Jack Johnson immediately. He'll be there. Queens of the Stone Age. This is the second festival where Queens of the Stone Age is just under the headliners. Maybe they don't want to be headliners. Maybe they have that option. So, Black Keys, The Killers, Outkast, Jack Johnson, Queens of the Stone Age, Pretty Lights, The Avett Brothers, Modest Mouse, The Flaming Lips, STS9, Wiz Khalifa, Zed, Childish Gambino, Tegan and Sarah, Portugal the Man, Need to Breathe, Boys Noise, Blackberry Smoke, The 1975, Andrew WK, Black Lips, Wild Cub, Rainwolf, Diarrhea Planet. Trust me when I tell you that Diarrhea Planet is a lot better than they sound. Check out Diarrhea Planet. You will not be doing yourself a disservice. Go to hangoutmusicfest.com. And Modest Mouse has been rumored to be working with Big Boy, hence Outkast and Modest Mouse being on the same card here. You notice a lot of the... I'm surprised Foster the People aren't on this bill, because Foster the People are on every other bill here. So there's that. Then in my backyard, at Randall's Island, New York City, Governor's Ball, which has nothing to do with the Governor's Office of New York City. It's got nothing to do with Cuomo. Nothing to do. I don't know why they call it the Governor's Ball, but it's the Governor's Ball Music Festival at Randall's Island. And the headliners are Outkast. Told you, 40 festivals. They're doing them. They're doing all of them. I'm not going to sit here and discuss the validity of Outkast right now. I'm just telling you who's playing at what festival. Outkast, Jack White, Vampire Weekend, and The Strokes are your big four there. It's 3 days, so I'm assuming The Strokes are not a headliner. Skrillex, Phoenix, Interpol, Disclosure, Foster the People. Also, TV on the radio, Julian Casablancas. I guess he's doing double duty because isn't he the lead singer of The Strokes? J. Cole, Spoon, Broken Bells, Damian Marley, as opposed to Ziggy, Damon Albarn, James Blake, Childish Gambino. I think Childish Gambino lives in New York City, so it should make sense that he plays it. The Kills, Sleigh Bells, The Head and the Heart, The Naked and Famous, Tyler the Creator. I hate that guy. What an asshole that guy is. I'm so glad that this is the first time I had to mention him. Probably be the last. The 1975, Kurt Vile, minus the Violators. It just says Kurt Vile. Chance the Rapper, Wild Bell. The Run the Jewels duo of LP and Killer Mike. Again, awesome. And here's a cool band name, The Chain Gang of 1974. I've never heard their music. So go to govball, govball.com, govball.com. And as the article says, every white person who lives in Brooklyn will find themselves at Randall's Island over the weekend of June 6th through June 8th. The Governor's Ball Music Festival has assembled the most hipster-friendly lineup of 2014, with apologies to Coachella. The Strokes make their first live performance since 2011, and Interpol will finally come out of hiding. Other artists not named Outkast you will want to put up on Instagram as you brave the decrepit Downing Stadium include Jack White, TV on the Radio, and Deaf Heaven. Visit the Governor's Ball Music Festival lineup for more information. Big Guava. Is this a first? I don't know if this is the first time, but May 2nd through 4th, with 4 stages in Tampa, Florida, Mid-Florida Credit Union Amphitheater. That's a weird name. That's a weird place to name That's a weird name for a venue. at the Florida State Fairgrounds, the Big Guava Music Festival. Early bird tickets are on sale already, probably sold out. This is in Tampa, and you can check out headliners, which are Outkast. Again, always gonna get Outkast. Every one of these announcements will have Outkast. Outkast, Vampire Weekend, Foster the People. Look at Foster the People. They moved up to headliner status. I guess that shows you what Big Guava Festival is all about. Slightly Stupid, Cake, Tegan and Sarah, The Violent Femmes. I wonder if I show up there with my wet Central Park ticket, will they let me in? Girl Talk, Earl Sweatshirt, Group Love, Haim, Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Experience. I didn't know that Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Experience was getting festival billing now, but okay. Cool. Wow, that band's reissuing their whole back catalog. Chance the Rapper. ZZ Ward. Again, I mentioned ZZ Ward. She's hot. And she's not... It's not bad. It's not bad music. Gringo Starr. Why do I think I've seen Gringo Starr before? I may have seen Gringo Starr opening for some band at one point or another. Maybe the Toadies. Somewhere. So, those Band of Skulls, Blue October. Hoodie Allen. Oh, that's a great name. Instead of Woody Allen, Hoodie Allen. And you can go to BigGuavaFest.com for more information. You can buy tickets at Live Nation. And there's always Mountain Jam in upstate New York at Hunter Mountain. It's the 10th annual Mountain Jam. And there's a major headliner to be announced, but as of right now, it's going to be Bob Weir and Rat Dog, Government Mule, and Pretty Lights playing a late night set. We got the Avett Brothers, Damian Marley, Jeff Tweedy, Humphreys McGee playing 2 sets. I heard Humphreys McGee was killing it the other night. Were they in New York? I think they were. Because Hey Scotty B was there from Glide Magazine, him and his desk. So I know they were there. Trampled by Turtles, Dark Star Orchestra. Dark Star Orchestra is cool. Blitzen Trapper. Blitzen Trapper's rad. Beats Antique playing a late night show. And this is upstate New York. Rainwolf? That's so weird. So weird that Rainwolf is playing. The Weeks opened for the Me Puppets on tour. So I'm glad to see them getting festival billing. Jackie Green's going to play a late night set. And that's June 5th through 8th at Hunter Mountain. Excuse me. Still getting over this sickness from last week. Shaky Knees Festival in Atlanta. Wait a minute. Let's back up. Mountain Jam does not contain Outkast. It is a miracle. We'll get into another festival that doesn't contain Outkast a little later. Right now I'm just going forwards down the number line to the Shaky Knees Music Festival, May 9th through 11th in Atlanta, Georgia. And the 2 headliners right now are The National and Modest Mouse, with a 3rd headliner to be announced. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. Outkast has plans to play 40 festivals. Outkast, I believe, is from Atlanta, Georgia. Trust me, they are your 3rd headliner. This is a prediction I'm making right now, that they will be the 3rd headliner. Ed Sharp and the Magnetic Zeros, Spoon, Gaslight Anthem, Violent Femmes, Cage the Elephant, Dropkick Murphys. There's Trampled by Turtles again. Cold War Kids, Airborne Toxic Event. Deer Tick, playing as Deer Tick, not as Deervana, which was cool when they would go on tour and play Nirvana songs. The Devil Makes 3, Blitzen Trapper, Tokyo Police Club. I think I've seen them too. Did I see them open for Weezer at the Garden with my dad? I might have. With I forgot the other name of that band. The band the guy from Blink 182 was from. Angels and Airwaves. I think it was Weezer, Angels and Airwaves, and Tokyo Police Club. I'm almost positive that was the bill. Charles Bradley and the Extraordinaires. And this is all Shaky Knees Music Festival in Atlanta, Georgia, in the ATL Shouter. And it's all going down May 9th through 11th this year. Finally. Do you have your do you have your chain wallets? Are you into heavy? Are you into the heavy stuff? Are you listening? Are you a person who thinks Avenged Sevenfold is awesome and you just want to hear more of them? Then I think you need to be in Columbus, Ohio, May 16th through 18th at Rock on the Range Music Festival. This lineup is stellar. Stellar in which you've probably heard of a lot of these bands. The band currently touring under the moniker of Guns N' Roses will be headlining along with Avenged Sevenfold and Kid Rock. Five Finger Death Punch, Slayer, Stained, and Motorhead occupy the second line of this bill. Seether, Chevelle, Alter Bridge, Black Label Society, Killswitch Engage, Mastodon, Bring Me the Horizon, Theory of a Dead Man, Down, Blackstone Cherry, Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin Experience, Pop Evil, Of Mice and Men, Trivium, Gorgia, Suicidal Tendencies, The Pretty Reckless, We Came as Romans, Fuel, Red Light King, Miss May I, Rain Wolf, Thousand Foot Crutch, Texas Hippie Coalition, Rev Theory, Skindred, King Fozzy, Heaven's Basement, Butcher Babies, Nothing More, Exodus, King 810 I want to say, Devour the Day, We As Human, We Are Harlot, a band I can't pronounce. No, that's not their name. I can't pronounce this next band. Jim Brewer Band, One OK Rock, 12 Foot Ninja, featuring the comedy tent of Jim Brewer, Jim Florentine, and more. That's at Crew Stadium. Crew Stadium like Columbus Crew, like they built a stadium for the Major League Soccer team? Yeah, we love soccer in America. Well, maybe that's what they do in Ohio. I don't know. Anyway, the bigger story from this festival lineup is, I mean, maybe I'm not Googling enough. Maybe I'm not up to date on all of the lineups of these bands currently. But I want you, this is your homework for today, I want you to check out the Rock on the Range lineup. And I want you to tell me if there is any black guys in any of these bands. Squirrel and Reverend Justito pointed it out to me. There are no African Americans on this bill. At all. At all. I guess you can't book Seven Dust every year, right? But I mean, seriously, there's no black guys? You can't get one black. No one called up the Bad Brains? I mean, I know it's the North and everything. Damn. Diversity. This Suburbia Music Festival in Plano, Texas. Alabama Shakes are like the headliner. That already makes me not interested, but J. Cole, Tegan and Sarah, Slightly Stupid, Violent Femmes, Need to Breathe, Third Eye Blind. Yellow Wolf. Run the Jewels is there. Rain Wolf, Reverend Horton Heat. Basic Vacation, I like that name. That's a cool name for a band. That's going down May 3rd and 4th. That's a 2-day thing in Plano, Texas. And any other festivals that get announced, which, trust me, I've only counted Outkast headlining 5, so there's at least 35 more to go. And all of those you will be able to find at anniequiet.com, your source for quality, the website that powers this podcast every week. So, look at that. I spoke about stuff for a long, long time. So, we'll go over the list of people I like before I get up out of here and take another week off work sitting here doing nothing. I gotta tell you, sitting in this house doing nothing all week, it's not good. It's not good at all. Like, my head hurts from banging against the wall so much. But every festival I just talked to you about, every festival lineup can be found along with all other news. Your source for quality music. You go to anniequiet.com, run by smart people. You also go to concertconfessions.com for all your live music, news and reviews. For fans, by fans. I told you the As Seen on TV was coming back, and it did come back. So check out Sleigh Bells, Dash through Letterman, and all the other stuff going on concertconfessions.com. You click those Amazon ads and you buy stuff and you help me make some money. Maybe. I don't know if I make money, but we'll see. The only way to know is if somebody buys things. You go to ChristinaRocks.com. You go to 89xradio.com for the Time Warp old school alternative every Sunday morning. Not that old school, but old school enough for you to enjoy it. I just listened. I finally got to listen. It was cool. I tuned in during REM, the one I love, and then that went into Pixies, This Monkey's Gone to Heaven, and then she shouted me out. She was talking about me for a minute or two. So now I'm shouting you out. Hey, Christina. Cheer. TheAndyDeerShow.com for all your Deer Network podcast needs. Don't forget that's TheAndyDeerShow.com. And TheMeatPuppets.com, because those Moist Boys dates are on sale. And if you want to catch the Meat Puppets and the Moist Boys with a good chance of some jamming with both bands together happening, go to TheMeatPuppets.com, check the dates, go to the venue's website, and see where you can. Or go to HighRoadTouring.com, search for the Meat Puppets, and that's where you can buy all those tickets. The tour itinerary is on there. Follow me on Twitter at JPorks. Follow me on Instagram at JPorks. If you can think of any other social networks you want me to join under the name JPorks, I will. I don't know what a Tumblr is. I know what Tumblr is, I just don't have it. I don't have it because it seems like you post a picture and other people share your picture. Sounds like Instagram. You go to jporks.com. I'll update that eventually. I have all this time off, so I should bring my own website up to date. That's the beauty of it being my website. No one could yell at me for not updating it because I'm the boss there. So I can be lazy. And jporksmusic.blogspot.com for shit JPork says. Usually I put the show notes up. I probably will this week because it's going to be short. There's links, and I want you to see the picture of Kaye Perry's boobs because they are spectacular. Spectacular. So, then there's that, and then there's more. Till next week, folks. Happy Martin Luther King Day. Whiskey, weed, and Warren Zevon. Late.
This has been the J Porks Experience. Thank you so much for listening.